Yes, indeed. What up? What is the good word? It's the man here live, Real Talk Sports. 2 minutes past the hour, going in 9:02 p.m. A few things to talk about. Um, First things first, just want to check in here with the NBA playoffs. I've received, a couple private DMs just asking if I could talk a little bit about the basketball. And it's crazy that I didn't do that yet because I am a basketball fan after all. Huge fan of the Lakers, always have been for a good minute. And I've become a LeBron James fan now. LeBron James has won me over the years, especially what he's done the last couple of years and just the longevity of his playing career. So far, right now in the series, they're up 3 games to 1 against the Warriors. A lot talking about the Warriors maybe seeing the end of their road come here with LeBron and the Lakers moving past them 104 to 101 just last night in the Crypto Center. This crazy Crypto Arena, excuse me. What's crazy about this game is that the Lakers had two back-to-back games, so they needed to win this game. And the Warriors need to show a little bit of a sense of urgency since the Lakers did steal one away in their home arena in the Chase Center. And I know things are a lot more different when they go out there. However, again, the Lakers moving past them 104 101. Anthony Davis played a huge game with a double double there 23 points, 15 rebounds. Curry did what Curry does, but the Lakers are going back to the Bay, and they're going to have to see the Warriors in Game 5. The Lakers can close out in Game 5, but the main thing they have to do right now is get the support from the guys, the key role players. I'm talking about D'Angelo Russell, Roy Hachimura, Dennis Schroeder, um, and a little bit more from Vanderbilt. They're going to have the success they need. The minutes are up there. Vanderbilt, I like to see him play a little bit more, especially with Russell struggling. On last today's games, he was 1 for 10. He didn't hit a single 4 point, 3 pointer, excuse me, after going 0 for 4 there. And on the free throws, he was 2 for 2. But still, 31 minutes, only get to 4 points on 1 for 10 from the field goal. And his percentage was absolutely abysmal. He was a -3 across the board. And again, Roy Chamora, 14 minutes coming off the bench, only to give 2 points. Shorter, Dennis Shorter as well, 35 minutes. He only had 10. He's more of a defensive guy, but I would like to see more come from, especially D'Angelo Russell and Roy Chamora, if they're going to have any chances at moving ahead right now and maintaining their position against the Warriors going back again to the Bay. Moving on here, also a quick update to go back and just let you know the Sixers are currently up 71-57 in Boston. It's a really nice bounce here back for them, especially after going 2-2. Boston won the last 2 games. Now here they're playing Game 5, and Philadelphia well ahead a little bit here in the third quarter. 5:48 left. Now we have the nightcap, excuse me, the nightcap game with the Phoenix Suns are going to be playing the Denver Nuggets. We're going to see how that game turns out. That series as well is tied at 2-2 apiece. Moving into now what we were talking about yesterday with the AFC East, we're going into the AFC South tonight. We're just going to kind of review what the teams that in the South have done thus far in terms of the Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts, Jacksonville Jaguars, and of course the Tennessee Titans. We'll start with the Houston Texans and state the obvious already. I really like their draft. Top to bottom. I mean, they went ahead and they got the guys that they needed to get. And there were some really quality players towards the end of the draft. I'm talking about Henry Tutu for them in round 5. And you go back and you team him up with Will Anderson Jr., who was a first round pick, third overall. The Houston Texans went ahead and wheeled and dealed a little bit. But they went ahead and got a quality player in Henry Tutu to team him back up with Will Anderson coming out of Alabama. But in between there, Stroud, Anderson, Scruggs, those three right there are going to be perennial building blocks to go ahead and recreate this franchise's culture a little bit. It's great for them to be there so young under D'Amico Ryans, who takes over the reins from Lovie Smith. Already like their competitive nature under Lovey. Just unfortunately, didn't have the offensive firepower that she necessarily needed. When you take a look at their record, 3-13 on one with the tied game, the roster they had from a year ago There may some changes there, so we'll see how everything shakes out. So far, like I mentioned, Stroud being the number one pick, he automatically you want to see him push past David Mills, but there's nothing that's going to be guaranteed. Stroud might struggle out of the game. We don't know. Mills might still want the job. He might now with the new weapons. Robert Woods, who's coming to the team. John Michie coming back off of being diagnosed with leukemia from a year ago, comes in to have a real true rookie season this year with the Texans. So he'll be a part of that offense as well. Dalton Schultz, the big signing free agent they brought over from Dallas. As I mentioned, Juice Scruggs, he's going to go in and automatically start at the center position. They still have Laramie Tunsil and Titus Howard on the other side. And the interior is very, very solid as well in Kenyon Green and Shaq Mason. Obviously, on the defense, they still have some work to do. I would like to see them add a little bit more depth. They were very competitive at times. The Texans were in losing efforts a lot of times, but when you seen them go up against mainstay powers, you saw how difficult it was for them to be able to match everything that other teams, especially again the contending teams, were doing. So unfortunately for them, it was a little bit more difficult than they expected it to be. But all the same, you have Will Anderson coming in. You retain the services of Malik Collins. You return the services of a Jerry Hughes. Don't know if he'll make it through camp, but he's there for now. As well as Denzel Perman, him coming over from the Las Vegas Raiders from a year ago. Jimmy Ward, another big pickup for them, coming over from the 49ers defense. Jalen Petrie, he's going to be back. He had an amazing year last year individually, so I like what he did. And I think Derek Stingley is going to be a lot better than he was this year, especially with Sauce Gardner kind of overseeing him in terms of his level of play. Stingley was drafted higher, I believe, first corner off the board. Unfortunately for him, the season didn't go as planned, but I think with DeMeco Ryans being in this defense, things should definitely try to change up for the youngster. And we're going to move on to the Indianapolis Colts. Very big parts of the first few episodes of my podcast, we talked heavily about Anthony Richardson, and he is the number one pick. He's going to go into camp. He'll be back against Gardner Minshew. We know that Gardner Minshew, what he brings to the table in terms of veteran leadership, he's been there, done that. I expect for him to at least push to try and get some starting reps here, if not be the starter altogether. Anthony Richardson, the team has said that he's going to have to earn it. He's going to have to come in and prove that he's able to go ahead and take the reins. But you just love what this kid can do for you in terms of his size, in terms of his speed, athletic ability. There's so much that he can do, so much that he'll bring to the table once he gets a knack of Shane Steichen's offense. But I think that Richardson and Gardner Minshew should go into camp and compete for the number one job. If Richardson's the guy, great. If he's not, at least you have a capable veteran that can at least ease the system into transition. Minshew having a little bit of an inside track because he was a part of that same system last year in Philadelphia behind Jalen Hurts. So I think Anthony Richardson, their number one pick this year, 4th overall, is going to help them tremendously. And what a disparity has gone from you. When you take a look at Matt Ryan being there last year, and now you get a kid like Anthony Richardson, the possibilities are limitless. And you got Josh Downs coming out of North Carolina. One of definitely a top 5 wide receivers coming into the draft. Bit of undersized guy. They still have Michael Pittman over there. He's going to command a lot of those snaps. You can have to expect that for sure. When you take a look at what he can bring to the table in terms of his speed, in terms of playing in the slot, and the sure hands that he has. He's known for a big flashy stuff. I like him coming into the season this year. Kind of like a surprise, like a Jahan Dotson. We didn't know what Jahan Dotson was going to bring to the table. Again, it's kind of in the same mold there. Dotson being a bit bigger than Downs, but Downs is a player with a huge heart, loves to make plays down the field. Gonna be a tough guy, maybe a smaller guy, but still a tough guy. Catch those balls across the middle. So it's going to be real good for him to come in and be able to contribute right away. They also have Blake Freeland, a very good pick for them. They need to beef up the offensive line, protect Anthony Richardson for the future. Him coming out of BYU, they got him in the 4th round. Really solid pick for them. Again, Daniel Rush at the cornerback position. When you go ahead and you pair him up with the loss of Stephon Gilmore, who's now in Dallas, you're going to need some competition there at that cornerback position. So I think Darius Rush, definitely Julius Brents. I should mention Brents before him. A very early 2nd round pick, a high grade on him as well, coming out of Kansas State. And Darius Rush, you pair those guys together, they're going to be battling for snaps. Rush drafted in the 5th round, and Brents is going in the 1st. I saw some film on Brents this year. really solid guy who plays well in the man coverage. He's going to be bringing in reps and going to be getting in a lot more time and allowing for them to grow their position. But I feel like he's going to really push for that starter role now with Gilmore, no longer being on the team. We're going to move on to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and of course, one of my coaching favorites in Dougie Peterson. He's going to go ahead and lead them coming out of the gate this year. They had a really, really good season, showing from a year ago making the playoffs. Immediate impact in Doug Peterson and his coaching staff on what he was able to bring to do and stabilize Trevor Lawrence a little bit. The first year he came in with Urban Meyer, there was a lot of big things that were supposed to happen there. Didn't happen. Peterson comes in, completely changes the culture and the atmosphere of the team. They really played for him, and you could see that the players really wanted to win. They really wanted to have a better showing. Started off the year with a win. Very exciting game against the Los Angeles Chargers, and I expect bigger things from them this year with the return of Calvin Ridley, of course. Now we're going into year 3 of Trevor Lawrence with Travis Etienne. This is going to be a very big, a big challenge, a big step up for them. But they got the right things going. They're at the right pieces going. Again, Trevor Lawrence, Etienne at the running back position. Ridley and Kirk together. Kirk was a free agency signing from a year ago, Zay Jones is still there. Evan Ingram now in year 2 of Doug Peterson's offense. They get Cam Robinson kind of on the suspension list for now. They still got solid quality backup behind him in Anton Harrison, Ben Barch, Luke Fortner, Brandon Scherff coming over from the Washington Commanders for a couple seasons ago, and he's still there. Defense up and coming. They still have Josh Allen, Devin Lloyd from a year ago, their number 1 pick as a defender. Tyson Campbell is still there, Rayshawn Jenkins, and of course Andre Cisco coming out of the University of Syracuse. He had a very good season last year. I'm looking for him to continue to expand on his role in Jacksonville. And of course, those picks were absolutely tremendous. I'm expecting them to kind of bring the same kind of quality staff back from a year ago. Might be some small changes, but again, talking about a team that made it into the playoffs, weren't expected to do much, especially the season they had the year before under Urban Meyer. Coming back into this season with Doug Peterson and just showing, right, again, the capabilities there. And when they go out and they get an Anton Harrison, knowing that Cam Robinson is at the end of his rope with the franchise in terms of his contract and now being suspended because of the performance-enhancing drugs, they're going to be able to ease in Harrison to kind of hold the bay on the bookend side and keep Trevor Lawrence upright here in this offense early. I think there was a very good investment for Trent Baalke and staff, and I think they went ahead and got the right guy to bring him in and maybe lead into the future, not knowing how certain the future of Cam Robinson, will be. Tank Bigsby, a guy out of Auburn, very fantastic back to pair with Travis Etienne. Yasir Abdullah, an outside linebacker of Louisville. They get them another piece on the defensive side of the football. And of course, we let Christian Bradshaw on the Rutgers. Another player that a lot of people are high on, but I think he's not only going to make the team, but surprise a lot of people and at the same time. So the Jaguars continue to build on what they already have, get some pieces back, try to see where certain guys are at now that they've been in the league for a couple of years. And we'll see that transformation behold in front of our eyes. A lot of fans, I think, are going to start joining the Jaguars fan base here for years to come. And finally, the Tennessee Titans. What is there not to talk about? We got the big bookend in Peter Skoronski from Northwestern with a top offensive tackle in this year's NFL draft. For sure guy who's going to come in and start immediately. He's going to be an ultimate contributor, ultimately replacing Taylor Lewan on the outside, who, by the way, seems to be in a civil suit, not a civil suit, a private, a loan suing of his own contract due to the fact that his knee was not properly repaired by Dr. James Andrews, a renowned surgeon who unfortunately must have something there he's being accused of due to Taylor Lewan not being able to play anymore. So Peter Skoronski comes in and automatically takes up that end. And then he's going to go ahead and hold that down for the Titans. They got Will Levis in the second round. A lot of murmurs and rumors swirling about Malik Willis not being liked or favorably liked anymore around the building. A lot of people seem to be a lot down on him, regretting that pick from a season ago. but he was the guy that came in when Ryan Tannehill got injured last year, and now here we go again. Tannehill, swirling again with the rumors of him maybe moving on with Will Levis right there nipping at the heels, and they still have Malik Willis as well. Don't know what's gonna happen with that. It's always better to have two quarterbacks more than one. So Levis coming in, he's gonna be a rookie. Willis was already there. Maybe this will reignite the flame in him to come here and play better. We'll see what happens. They got Tyjae Spears out of Tulane. I saw film on him. This kid is incredible. He's very dynamic running back. Again, somebody who's not being looked at highly against running backs. It seems to me anyway that the position is not being considered as much as it was in the past in terms of the value here. And the shelf life in the position is very, very short. So that's understandable. But like I said, that's the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Tennessee Titans. That's the Tennessee Titans right now. Depth chart kind of looking the same here. There's rumors in the offseason in regards to Derrick Henry possibly being traded to Philadelphia. A little bit of a back and forth between him and his former teammate and our current star wide receiver, A.J. Brown. There were some rumors about him moving around, but they get time back Jeffrey Simmons to a huge deal. At one point, he was the highest paid defensive lineman in the NFL, but we now know that that's been surpassed with the signing of Dexter Lawrence recently, formerly of Clemson. Got his rookie deal picked up and extended on now that his contract is over. A rookie contract is over, and his real contract as an NFL veteran can begin. It's going to be really awesome to see what they're able to do with him. But again, the mainstays here, Kevin Byard, Simmons, of course, and they've got the service of Azeez Al-Shaair from SF, a solid linebacker. Now he gets to come in and automatically start. You got to assume that he's had 2 solid years. Wasn't able to bank on that for the Niners, but here he is over here, the 3-4 base defense. So he'll be playing a lot. We'll see what happens with him. He got a lot of linebackers. So we'll look and see how that happens over there. But that's the Tennessee Titans outlook for now. I'm going to go ahead and line it up just from 1 to 4. I predict it may be, again, this is only my first division rankings in terms of who I feel is going to finish first, who I feel is going to be in the basement. So with everything said and done, with everything I just mentioned, there's going to be a shocker here. But sometimes you got to go the way you feel. And I feel like the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to lock up the division. The Houston Texans are going to make a jump from the basement to second place. I think the Tennessee Titans take a slide back, and they're going to battle for the third or the fourth spot between the Indianapolis Colts as well. So if I were a betting man, I would have Indy at 3. I'd put the Titans at 4 in that division. If the Titans do not succeed, I can see them moving on from Mike Vrabel. He's a guy that is very loved there. Had really good, solid seasons, but the success in the playoffs has not generated. And that's the main thing that you got. You got to be able to win. People are after Lombardis. The Tennessee Titans being 7-10 last from a year ago, getting knocked place by, of course, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I believe that they'll be right up there again in the first place. So again, Jaguars, Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts, and the Tennessee Titans. 1 to 4. I've lined them up. AFC South review part 1, of course. Well, there'll be a re-ranking sometime later in the spring, maybe early summer. But for now, that is what I see based on all the moves, what they've retained on their roster, and what they've gained through the draft. That's how I have them lined up. Jags, Texans, Colts, Titans, 1 to 4. This has been Real Talk Sports. Again, episode 7. I've just went ahead and I've added the link to 2 of my socials. So on Twitter and Instagram, if ever you want to knock there and go ahead and click on those links and bring yourself to the podcast. We'll be back tomorrow, again, 9 p.m. I tried to do it a little bit earlier, but just to make sure to review some of the things that I wanted to talk about today. Give myself a little bit of time to unwind here after a football practice. So I just wanted to get back to that. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks again. We're going to continue to talk basketball playoffs more tomorrow, and we're going to get into the AFC North. That will be one of the main things that we'll be discussing, the AFC North. How it's looking right now after, again, retaining some of their top players, going out and drafting some of their future stars, and of course what they've done already in the early portion of the free agency period. So AFC North tomorrow. This has been H the Man, Coach H, whatever you like. We're out here. Appreciate you guys. Have yourself a wonderful evening, and of course, take care. Peace and love always.